Okay, so this is the same, pretty much the same agenda, except for B students are doing what A students did, and A students are doing what B students did on Friday. Okay, so I'm going to address first the students at home. You all here pay attention, obviously, but if you're a Group B student and you're at home and you did not take your test on Friday, whenever everybody took their test, you will make it up on Thursday. Okay, so you'll make it up whenever you're back in class. Okay, if you don't make it up by the end of this week, Group B students, then it will go in as a 0. Now you can make it up later, but I'm going to have to put in a 0 by the end of this week. Okay. Now, if you have special circumstances like you're having to quarantine or you have those are excused absences. Okay. I won't put in a 0 for you, but you need to let me know. We need to communicate. Okay. And you need to say, hey, I'm not able to take tests. And a couple of you already have done that. Okay. But if I'm just not hearing from you and you're not showing up for school and you're not taking your test, it'll go in as 0. Okay. If you are done with the test and everything's good to go, then you are working on benchmark 4 today. Okay, and we looked at that on Friday, but you are completing benchmark 4. Once you're done with benchmark 4, you can make sure you turned in everything else, and then you can go on to the no red ink assignment that we're going to start tomorrow and is due Thursday, and I'll kind of look at that. Same thing for you all in this class. You're going to take your test first, and then when you're done with your test, you'll make sure you have all those assignments done. Benchmark 4, obviously, is the main priority, and then all those other assignments, make sure they're done, okay? So let's look at Benchmark 4 really quick as just a reminder on what that looks like. So Benchmark 4, your hero's government. This is where you're going in and looking at the civilization you've been researching this whole project. From benchmark 1 through benchmark 4, it's the same civilization. You'll put the name of the civilization here. When you find a reputable source that's talking about that civilization's government, you'll put that source right here. You will put it in MLA citation. A lot of people have forgotten, not a lot, like 25% of classes forgotten to do this, and it automatically brings your grade down because this is part of your assignment. So make sure you put it in MLA format, and that's this format right here, okay? And then there's 3 questions. Now, these first 2 are paragraphs, should be paragraph answers, and this last one's like an image with a short explanation, okay? So this first one says, what type of government did your civilization have, okay? It should have had either probably an autocracy, a democracy, or an oligarchy. We looked at these last week a lot, and you need to explain what this meant for that civilization, okay? So did they have one ruler that was in power? Were they a king? Were they an emperor? Did they have a group of people? Did they have people casting votes? Were they a republic where they had representatives? So they're like a democracy. What did they have? Now, and I noted some civilizations had different types of governments throughout its history. Choose one of those. So like the Greeks had an oligarchy at one point, and then a democracy at one point. And some city-states in Greek history had a dictatorship. So it just depends on the time. Pick one of those time frames and one of those types and look at those. You don't have to do every single one throughout its whole history. You write a whole book on it, okay? The second question is kind of more of like an opinion base for you. Do you believe that it would have been difficult or easy to live under that type of government? I want you to explain your answer. It should be a paragraph, so give me a few sentences explaining why you think it'd be difficult or easy or you'd like it or hate it or whatever. And the last part is find a visual representation of the civilization's government. This could be a flag, sculpture, building, so on and so forth, that you think represents the civilization or represents the government, and you can kind of talk about why you think this is. You can also research this. It should not be difficult to find. And I'm looking for you to make an attempt to understand that, okay? So that is benchmark 4. So the other thing that you're going to be doing if you finish with all that, and I think there's a good percentage of you all out there ready to jump in to this no red ink thing. Let's look at this a little bit deeper, just so you all are ready whenever it is time for it. And it is self-guided, okay? So if you're reading everything, if you're looking, if you're taking that agency, kind of teach yourself, how am I going to do this? It will really help you. All right, just a second, let me get in there and preview it. All right, so this tutorial will walk you right through what an argumentative essay is, okay? You need to read through all of this. I'm not going to go through this right now. I'll go through this tomorrow, but if you are ahead, you can go through it. I'm going to skip it to show you what this looks like. When you're done with that, it'll get you to start writing. You have your prompt over here, what you're writing about, and the directions for writing. And you have passages that go along with the writing that you can reference as you're writing, okay? When you're ready to start, you can put a title in, you can do your introduction, your body paragraphs, your counter argument, your conclusion. And I know a lot of this right now, you're going, whoa, that's a lot. I just today want you to start taking a swing at it. Look through things, read through the passages, read through the situations, but we'll go over this in more depth tomorrow, okay? So I, at this time, am going to let the students at home go. If y'all don't have any questions, you have questions, stick around. Let me know. I'll kind of pause for a moment to listen for questions if there are any. All right, I'll take that as a sign that you don't have questions right now. If you do, I will be on the Google Meet for the rest of the class. If you need anything, don't hesitate to pop in and let me know. So you all are dismissed off the Google Meet if you don't want to stay on there, and make sure you get all those things done.